For the past several months, I've seen more and more of these build-to-rent news pieces that have been popping up, just like this.
The American dream isn't for sale, it's for rent.
They're repackaging the American dream to be that you really don't want to own a home, you'd rather rent it. To me, this is total propaganda. And we're going to be going through some of these articles and news pieces that have come out about build-to-rent. And you let me know at the end, is this propaganda or is this the way that we're heading? And I really should just zip my lips and forget about it.
An app allows them to request fixes. Their monthly rent and a small fee cover all maintenance and landscaping.
So everything is included in their rent. Their monthly fee is covered with an app that they can just order everything they need. So they're making this sound really, really enticing to people that can't find an affordable housing option. I mean, I get it. There's many people that want to rent. I'm not saying that all build to rent isn't necessary. I'm saying the amount of build to rent is alarming. And that's where I'm coming from on this. This narrative that they've been pushing on us has not changed. And to me, that makes it propaganda because many of these people do want to buy a house.
Who is renting these homes?
A third of our residents are people who can't come up with a down payment. They can't afford 7.5% mortgage today. But 2/3 of our residents are residents by choice, meaning they elect to rent.
I don't buy that for 1 minute. 2/3 of the people that are renting from him are renting by choice. I bet that's reversed. I bet you 2/3 of them are renting by choice because they can't find anything else to buy. Now, if you think this is only happening in like Atlanta, Georgia, you're crazy. And it's coming to a town near you. Look, there's some news articles that have been coming out for the last 2 years about build-to-rents in all around the country. Look at this.
Build-to-rent homes are sprouting up across North Texas.
Build-to-rent construction, it's exploding in the Tampa housing market.
There are new homes being built all throughout the Tennessee Valley, but some of them are not for sale.
Now, it would be interesting to find out if all of these companies are related to each other in one way, shape, or form, meaning that who sits on the board of these bigger companies? You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever you peel back the papers and like pull back the curtain, who's the man behind the curtain? And I bet you that either one of them is invested in Vanguard, or the other one is Blackstone, or the other one's BlackRock. I guarantee you, in some way, shape, or form, those three companies are involved in this. I'm sure that's my conspiracy tinfoil hat thing, but every time I ever look up any of these companies that are big, giant investment firms, all three of them end up being a seat on their board. Interesting to find out. Now, it isn't just the news clips that you see. Axios has put out articles, NBC has put out articles, CNBC has put out articles, Fox News has put out articles about build to rent. But I want to share with you what Axios had to say, because this is the part where I'm like, they're selling this idea to us. It says, the big picture, build to rent housing can provide an opportunity to move into a brand new house, often with professional property management and other amenities attached, without the need to raise a huge down payment or long-term commitment to stay in place. And that's what they've all been saying too, because all of the big developers, they were like, you know, the thing is that, you know, people don't want to grow roots. They want to have a lifestyle where they can go and pick up and move into a new house anywhere around the country. I'm telling you, they're selling this to us. I don't know where he's getting those statistics from. I know, being in the business that I'm in and how many people I speak to on a daily basis, a lot of first-time home buyers are having the hardest time finding their first home, and the only choice they have is a build-to-rent community. All right, let's get back to it.
While the median sales price for existing homes has dropped nearly 2% from last year, a recent report shows renting as more cost-effective than home ownership in 95% of the U.S. right now.
You know what? That does make sense, because if you make rent just under what a mortgage payment would be, then it's possible that people would be like, well, I mean, I could just rent this instead and save a couple $100 and instead of getting a mortgage. But if you keep the supply of homes so incredibly low and the price of homes never actually drops, which it hasn't, by the way, it actually even went up this month, which is unbelievable, because we had 5 months of declines and now it just went up just a scotch. That is going to create more of these build-to-rent communities. More corporations are going to be owning them, and you're going to be paying your bills to people like, I don't know, like this guy here.
Here in the United States, there are almost 1,000 of these build-to-rent communities with single-family detached homes. More than 500 are in the works. Each community has 50 or more homes, renting for an average of $2,000 a month.
So $2,000 a month on average. You got to put that in perspective because they're taking it across all of those communities. That is high, but a lot of mortgage payments, when you include insurance and taxes, that's going to be around $2,000. And that would be in that first-time home buyer range. So I guess it makes sense. It really truly does. What doesn't make sense is the lack of supply of homes that are available to most Americans isn't there. And a lot of these people would love to buy the home that they're renting, but this isn't a community that's ever going to allow them to do that. The only option they can do in this particular community is just rent it. They're never ever available for sale.
Luke and Rebecca Montgomery spent a year looking to buy a home, but struggled to find anything within their price range and big enough for their family.
He struggled to find anything that was in his price range, exactly what I've been talking about. There isn't enough supply of homes in people's price range. These people are working people, working professionals that have enough money for a down payment to purchase a house, but there isn't enough homes available for them to purchase. And everybody's been promising all these, this great housing crash that's supposed to happen in this significant supply of homes. Even if that was the case, most of the homes that have been built in the last 3 to 5 years are not the houses that are the first-time home buyer homes. They're the homes that would be the second or third time buyer homes. So that's really not going to help with the housing shortage that we have. Let's move on.
This was just the right solution for us.
How nice is it to have the benefits of home ownership without the responsibility?
It's nice to be able to know that in the event something happens, it's not all going to fall on your shoulders.
If you're going to be renting a home from a build-to-rent community and anything happens to that house, yes, you're not responsible for the actual structure of the home itself. That is on the investor itself that owns the home. But if you are going to be renting it, the items inside your home, no matter how damaged or what caused the damage, that's on you. So make sure you get renter's insurance. It's very inexpensive, so you might as well go ahead and get it. Many of these places already come with a security system too. That actually helps with your renter's insurance. So let's move on.
A career change prompting their move from Texas. The couple says instead of buying, they decided to rent so they could see if they liked the area first.
This community offered us a great opportunity to rent a house where we feel safe. You don't have to own all the time. I mean, you can make the decision of renting and thinking about it, and sometimes that's better than just owning.
There's nothing wrong with doing this. I've told people before, if you're moving to a new area, you're not really sure about it, go ahead and rent a home. Make sure you understand the lease agreement that you're signing when you're signing for any house, or you're renting an apartment or a condo or a townhouse, it doesn't matter. Make sure you understand that lease agreement thoroughly. My biggest concern with all of these build-to-rent communities is that they're popping up everywhere. Houston, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, even Tennessee and Atlanta, and they're going to be building another 600 communities across that whole Sunbelt area. If there is enough of those build-to-rent communities and they're concentrated in one area, that means that one developer, one investor owns the whole entire market, so they can adjust the price for how much homes we're going to be renting for. No one corporation should be dictating the market price for single-family homes that are up for rent. These big investors that are doing all of these massive developments, this is a huge problem. Now, I understand that investors really do like a build-to-rent whole idea. It's much like how they love investing in mobile home parks. They have the product, they have the renters, and they control the rent throughout the whole entire park. If they own a mobile home park, if they have a whole entire neighborhood, they can control the rent there. Not only that, once they set it up, they have a whole system put together on how they're going to repair the items and take care of them over the time. My concern is whenever you're dealing with a landlord, especially a corporate landlord, at the beginning, they always seem to do really well. As their systems start to fail, they don't end up doing what they're supposed to do when it comes to taking care of a property. Over time, these kinds of developments can start looking dilapidated. Let's hope that this isn't going to be the case with a lot of these build-to-rent communities. But I know for myself and in my own neighborhood, I can tell you exactly which homes in my specific neighborhood are renters. Renters don't tend to take care of their properties the same way as an individual homeowner. They don't have the pride in ownership like they would if they actually owned the house. The one thing I can say is all the homes that they have shown in this specific news clips that I've been showing you, they actually cover the lawn non-maintenance, so it doesn't leave for the neighborhood looking dilapidated and bad over time. Now, I did get a message from a real estate agent from a previous video I did about build to rent, and he wasn't really happy with me. I think it's probably one of the most shocking things about me doing these videos about build to rent, how many real estate agents are kind of on board with it. And I was kind of wondering why, but after I read this message, it kind of all made sense very quickly. Let me read it to you. He says, hey, so that build to rent community that you mentioned in your YouTube video, I sold it and my team rented it all out. And so I just went ahead and messaged him back and I said, well, at least you made a check. I still hate build to rent. And then of course, no real estate agent can go without saying the very last word. It says, I think if you were boots on the ground, meaning that apparently he thinks that I don't sell anything, you would have somewhat of a different opinion. These rentals are for people like that I've never seen before. And these people were so excited to rent these homes. I'm not saying it's a perfect system, but I don't think your statements are true to my experience. Okay, here's my beef with this. I understand if you're a real estate agent and you're selling these properties to the developers themselves, you've made a heck of a commission. And then if you have a whole team of people behind you that's doing this round robin, getting these renters in and out, and it's a constant maintenance fee because it's usually like first month's rent that goes to the real estate brokerage. I get it. You are making your money one way, shape, or form. But for me and my conscience and what I would want for my clients is I want them to be in a home that will make them money, that is a way of building their own personal wealth. I don't want to see my clients in renting rat race forever. I get it why some might think this is a fantastic idea, but I think in the long run, we're going to be in really bad shape with these build to rent communities. I do not believe this is the solution to the affordability crisis here in the United States. And I think if many real estate agents looked at it from a bigger picture than that paycheck, I think they would have a different viewpoint themselves, whether I'm boots on the ground or not. You know, I hate those little analogies. If you were boots on the ground, give me a break, dude. Give me a break. Real estate agents. God.
David Howard, CEO of the National Rental Home Council, says build to rent provides an innovative way to introduce supply into the housing market, which is an estimated 6 million homes short.
What does it mean when it comes to affordability?
It is almost $1,000 less expensive on average to rent a single family home than to make a mortgage payment on a single family home.
Okay, this is when I get my conspiracy hat on, because when I think of corporate investors, I really do think they're like the overlords of the United States. And I genuinely believe they sit in a boardroom going, all right, how can we make another generation even worse than the generation before? How can we bankrupt these people even more? How can we put them into even more debt? I mean, if you had told me 30 years ago, everybody would be renting cars for 4 years and then turning them in to get a brand new car again, I would have told you you're an idiot. And then look, we are all leasing cars. This is the same kind of principle. They found a cash cow. When they figured out that more builders were not going to be building enough homes, they were like, how can we get into this to capitalize it as much as possible? We're going to fill the need. We're going to save the day with build to rent homes. And we're going to make it sound so super appealing that people have no choice but to do build to rent. That's exactly what he's saying they're doing. I mean, I really feel like he's really doing all of us a favor. Insert sarcasm, sorry. All right, let's get back to it. I can't help myself, sorry.
Tips to help you lay the foundation for your version of the American dream.
To lay the foundation for your version of the American dream. I mean, to me, when I hear this, I want to scream. Your version of the American dream? Like, from the time I was like this big, the dream was to own a home. And the media and corporations are trying to redesign it, put a whole new picture on it of build to rent. I mean, call me crazy. I don't think this is a great idea. I just don't. I want to know your opinion. Oh, by the way, I want to tell you, the builders have heard the war cries and realized they need to build smaller in order to satisfy this market, because the only people that are really wanting to purchase right now are people that are first-time home buyers. Another thing too is more builders are looking at taking commercial properties and actually turning them into residential properties. That's happening in Boston and San Francisco. So we'll see what happens. happens, because when told by other developers that that's very expensive to do, so even if they were to do something like that, it's most likely going to be on the luxury end. So I really want to help our issue here. All right, what they're saying is build to rent is quickly emerging as the essential, highly desired sector of America's housing market, says NRHC CEO David Howard. Highly desirable? I mean, let me ask you this. Did you ask for a house that you can rent that's brand new, that you never would have an opportunity to purchase? I've never in my career had anybody come up to me and say, you know what, I'd really like to live in a neighborhood that is just full of rental houses and that I really don't get to know my neighbors over a period of time because, you know, they're just going to move out and we're just all renting anyways. I don't think this is going to create the community that they are painting a picture of. This is not picturesque to me. It isn't the American dream I was sold as a kid, that's for sure. America is facing a housing shortage somewhere between 3 to 6 million homes. Anything that brings housing into the mix is positive. So no matter what the answer is to them, as long as they're making money, it's positive. And I would only say that it's a positive thing if you have a balance of affordable homes that are for sale and affordable homes that there is to rent. If the only option is affordable homes to rent, to me, that's a problem. That's a big freaking problem. All right, you've watched the news clips, you've seen the articles. What do you think? Is this propaganda of the new American dream, or am I just flapping my lips and getting angry over nothing? This is the way that we should be going, in the direction to solve the affordability crisis here in the United States. You let me know in the comments section below. To watch more videos about the affordability crisis, you're going to watch these videos right here. My name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer, and I tell you all this because good real estate information matters.